Hey guys, so you were just able to snag your Rivian R1S, R1T. So I'm going to show you the 8-step process and how to do that, and then basically get you to delivery day. So this tutorial is coming up. So if you saw in a previous video, I showed you guys how to get access to the R1 shop. And basically, if you get access to the R1 shop, or you just wait around and Rivian tells you, hey, you're ready, your car is ready, then the first email you're going to get is this one. So I got this email after I snagged my configuration in the shop. It says, ready to roll, your very own R1S is locked and getting ready for you. So this is your first kind of thing you're going to see once you start getting into this process. So once you see this, then the next thing we're going to see is they tell you to download the app, which is, obviously you're going to need it because just like Tesla's, you're going to use your app as a phone as a key. So they ask you to download it. And basically when you download it, when you're in this process, this is what you see. It just basically says like your car is getting ready and, get excited. So Rivian calls this the 8-step process to basically get everything ready before you do delivery day. That way it makes delivery day much easier. And during delivery day, all we had to do was sign one DMV document and we were done. That was it. So one of those nice things about direct to consumer models is you can do it all online and then not have to hassle when you get there. So here's the 8 steps, all of these. It's really 7 steps kind of because this upload documents counts as a step, but you kind of end up doing that one within all these other steps. So, and also you don't really do them in a particular order. You kind of, like for me, I had to kind of go back and forth because it's just the way things work with financing and insurance and things like that. You need a certain piece of information from them to be able to do that step. So just keep this as, it's going to be as fluid as possible, but I'm going to try to do it as straightforward as I can for you guys. So first thing I did was the registration because that's just information off the top of your head. So yes, I'm an individual. I'm not, trying to write it off as a business or something like that. So I'm an individual and I do have a co-registrant, which is my wife. So I'll put yes. Then you go to the next step and it asks you to upload your driver's license. So keep in mind, it's the front and the back, which I thought was a little bit interesting that they didn't just want the front, but they wanted both. Next step is, just make sure that your name matches your license. So that looks good. And then you already have your address on file through your account. So it's going to bring it up and then you just want to check to make sure that it's right. And that the mailing address is the same for your registration, like where they're going to send the registration to. So yes. And then a couple more pieces of information for the title and registration. For me, I don't have a personalized plate, so no, I'm not going to be keeping an existing plate. And this is freaking awesome and kind of funny at the same time. They ask you, would you like us to install the front license plate mount? So I said, definitely no, because I don't want to have holes in my bumper, which says right here, drilling into the front bumper is needed to install the mounting hardware. So I was like, absolutely not. Even though I live in California and technically you're supposed to have a license plate on the front, I've never done that, and knock on wood, I've been pretty lucky and no cops really have cared. And they even make you acknowledge it because they know that California is a 2-plate state. So it's on you now because you're acknowledging that it's basically illegal. No problems for me though, I don't care. Next step is to get your co-registrant's driver's license. Same thing, front and back, upload those. And basically the last thing is to make sure you have an email address for your co-registrant as well and a phone number. And then this is just review your name, whoever your second registrant is, and an address and all that stuff. Review, and then you click confirm, and that's complete for that step. Step 2 is trade-in, or one that came up for me was trade-in. I didn't do a trade-in, but from what I've read, it's pretty simple. Basically, you just give Rivian your VIN or your plate number with the state. And if you have loan info, you got to give them that information as well. and then you answer a few questions on in what condition the car is in. I didn't even have to send pictures. It was just like excellent, good, fair. It's basically what you would see on Kelley Blue Book. Send a picture of the odometer, and since I was, or not me, but since what the example I read was a Tesla Model Y, and I'm sure this is, for any Tesla, basically they want you to take a picture of your software screen. So that screen has your VIN number on it, and it has like if you have FSD or anything like that too, so they can include that as well in the trade-in offer. And then basically that's it. You send them that information, and they get back to you within a day. So they're pretty quick about it, and it's just basically from what I saw, it's just a screen that tells you, hey, here's your trade-in offer, accept it or don't accept it. Next step for me was financing. So this screen here is super easy if you want to finance through Rivian. Basically, just put in the term, put in your credit score, what you have, what your down payment is, and it calculates the financed amount. So for me, this was not very competitive. So as you know, or as you may know, Rivian and Tesla both, they basically just send these out to big banks and do the loan for you. So it's basically you're paying more in APR for the convenience. So it looks like for Rivian, they specifically use Chase. I know with Tesla, or at least in the past, it was multiple banks that they would, get out, shoot your information out for a loan, and then they came back with the cheapest one. So not competitive for me. So I didn't do this. I just said, okay, no thanks. You can also pay in full if you're baller like that. Or on this same screen, I think it was up here, there was this button to bring your own financing. So that's what I basically did. So you click that, and then basically they ask you information about the financer that you're getting the money from. So Patelco is the one I went with. It's a credit union here in California. You tell them how they're going to pay Rivian, and then of course the amount as well. So basically it's just going to be the difference between your down payment and the total. And then this is just the breakdown of the entire thing. Total amount, financed, down payment. And then one last thing to review it, make sure everything is good before you hit the button, because once you hit the button, you can't go back unless you talk to your guide and they can fix it for you. So don't mess up. And then confirm your down payment. So as you saw from the other screen, $50,000, single payment or split payment. I was just doing one big cashier's check, so I clicked single payment. And then it basically asks you, how do you want to pay? So if you want to ACH it straight out of your bank account, you can connect to the bank. I was like, absolutely not doing that, because I wanted to actually see the car in person before I handed over $50,000. So I did pay by check. If you want to wire it to them, you can. And then it says, it's giving you information. So when you do your cashier's check, basically you want to give them this information, which is going to be unique to you. So I think this is just like a reservation number or something for your particular car. So you want to put that in the memo, and then basically continue. And it's just giving you the same information again. Put this in the memo and, all that good stuff. And then if you want to mail the check before your actual delivery day, you can. You would want to mail it here down to Irvine to their headquarters, and then hit continue. Send a picture of the front of the check for their backup, so they know what to look for when it comes in to their PO box. If you have a tracking number, you'd want to put it in here, but since, like I said, I want to pay in person because I want to look at the car first, I'm not going to have a tracking number, and you would just click pay in person. And it says they recommend mailing the check to avoid delays, but my guide was like, if you want to bring it in person, that's no problem. So, we have the car, so it was no issue at all. The guy down there took the check, and we were good to go. So just click I understand. And then here's your payment details one last time before you click the button where you can't go back. Next step for me was the purchase agreement. So you actually get an email for this one from this OneSpan is the company they use. Yeah, you've read it, accept, and it's a pretty typical purchase agreement. It's got all the whole breakdown of the car, all that legal jargon, sign it, and then you're good to go. And of course, you want to keep that for your own records. And then your confirmation, click continue, and you're done with this step. Next step for me was scheduling delivery. When I went into Rivian's site to this actual step, it basically gave me one time for like the entire month. It was like a Wednesday at like 9 a.m. So I was like, well, we can't do that. We have a toddler. We gotta have her taken care of. So we basically had to do it like on a Saturday. So I just waited at that point because at that point I didn't know when we were going to get the car or where the car was. The guy didn't know where the car was at that point yet. So I just waited. And then the next day I get this text from my guide. He was like, hey, we got the car. So at that point I was like, sweet. So I just texted him on the number and said, hey, do you have this Saturday open? And he was like, yeah, we can do it. So we got it scheduled that way through text. And then later that day when I went into my account, in that scheduling module, it basically had the information that I had, talked to the guide about and we agreed on. Next step was setting up insurance. I think this was basically the last step for me because I didn't want to pay, obviously I didn't want to pay insurance for a car that I didn't have and I didn't know when was coming. So one thing Rivian requires is they require you to actually have insurance for the car before you can pick it up. So it's one of those things that's a little bit different because like with our Tesla or any other cars I've bought in the past, most insurance policies have like a 30-day, you can buy a car and you're good to go and then just, get your insurance for that particular car after you take delivery of the car. So Rivian is like kind of backwards where they're like, we want to see your card before you take delivery. So, click get started. And then basically Rivian has their own insurance. I have a huge umbrella policy and all these different insurances under one roof basically. So there was no way I was doing that. So I'm bringing my own insurance. So upload proof of insurance and then, upload your card here. So obviously talk to your insurance agent, tell them when you're picking up the car and, go from there. Pretty straightforward. I just had my agent basically set up our insurance for like a couple days before we're actually taking delivery. So I paid, like 2 days extra for the car, which is no big deal. So I could get that car to give to Rivian, early. So I don't want to have any problems. I don't want to do anything like very last minute. So a couple of days is not a big deal. So upload the insurance card and that's it. So then that Saturday came and we took delivery of the car. So here's the El Cap Granite R1S that we took delivery of. Beautiful car, super huge, perfect for what we were looking for. So the one last thing that you do on delivery day is when you get there, like I said, you sign one DMV document, they bring out the car to you, you look around, and then basically to actually officially take delivery of the car, you go into the app and it asks you, do you want to take delivery of the car? And you swipe up. So the nice thing for me was basically he brought the car out and basically we checked it. We checked all the panel gaps, all that stuff, all the paint, make sure that was good, make sure the interior was good and stuff. And then after we had done all that, then I actually swiped up to take delivery because if something wrong or, something really big is wrong, you wouldn't want to swipe up because then it's like, no, take this car back, give me another car, But our car was perfect. It was, is great condition, obviously, because it's a new car. But yeah, everything was good. There was no weird things about it. And that was basically it. So now we have this awesome R1S that fits our family great. And so that's the whole delivery process. So, pretty simple, again, because it's direct to consumer. So you do all the hard work before. And then it doesn't take very long to get the car on delivery day. So hope you can get your Rivian soon too, because this car is awesome. I really like driving it around. Hope that tutorial is helpful, and thanks for watching.